Hello, Seth.
Yes, hi.
Hi, it's nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
You can have a seat right here. Did you find the place okay?
Yep.
I know it's hard to get behind that hill, but I'm glad you got here. It's nice sunny weather out today.
Yeah, nice out.
Are you ready for winter?
No, not at all.
I'm not either. I don't like the cold at all. Well, my name is Megan. I'm going to be your social worker today. And Seth, this is going to be our first session, so we're going to be going over a couple things and just really kind of getting to know each other and figuring out what you're here for today, really. There are a couple things I need to go over at first, just a couple policies. One thing is everything in this meeting and every session that we ever do is confidential. So anything you say is going to stay between me and you. I won't go off telling anybody. You don't have to worry about that. The only time that I would ever have to tell anybody and the only person I would have to talk to is my supervisor. The only time I would have to talk to her is if I feel as if you're going to harm yourself, because nobody wants that to happen. If I feel you're going to harm yourself, or if I feel somebody else is in danger, if somebody else is going to get hurt, then I might have to report that. Social workers are mandated reporters, which means we are required to report anything like that. So that's the only time that I would ever have to talk to anybody about anything. So you don't have to worry about that. Everything is confidential.
Cool.
So is that okay with you?
That's okay.
Okay. So like I said, this is the first session. And so we're going to be getting to know each other a little bit. And so is this your first time having therapy?
Yep.
So you've never had any type of therapy before?
No.
Okay. Well, what brings you in today?
Just anxieties in general that affect my, social interactions with people and my relationships.
What do you mean by anxiety? Explain to me what you feel by when you talk about anxiety.
Just how I interact with people. I can't interact properly, I guess. I get too afraid. My heart starts beating too fast. I start getting sweaty, and I overthink situations, and I just can't talk to people, or I'm afraid to say certain things, and it's hard to explain how they kind of affect. It just kind of happens, and then with relationships, I just overthink way too much, and scared to say certain things or say things that I shouldn't say, or apologize too much, and so forth.
Are you feeling anxious today, talking to me?
A little bit, no.
A little bit. Well, today, right now, can you tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 what your anxiety level would be?
In this conversation, or
in this conversation.
4.
A 4. Okay, so you're feeling pretty good today. Explain to me a situation where you're interacting with somebody. What does that look like when you start to feel anxious?
Well, I guess they try talking to me a lot, but I can't really. Don't know how to relate so much, or I just think about me not being able to relate to them, and I just can't say things because my heart starts beating too fast, and I'm just afraid what they might think, or stumble on what I might say.
So would you say that your mind kind of overworks a little bit when you're talking to people?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you have these, when you're having these anxious feelings, is it when you're talking to a stranger?
Yeah, not so much my family. It's more strangers.
So
crowded situations.
Okay. So in crowded situations is when you feel most anxious?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your family. Do you guys have good relationships?
Yeah, very loving family. I have 6 brothers and 2 stepsisters.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a big family.
So there's a lot of love there.
Do you feel a lot of support from them?
Yeah, I think so.
That's good.
Yeah.
Talking to your friends, do you ever get those feelings of anxiety?
Not really. I mean, sometimes it's more if I can relate to them as much.
If you can relate to the conversation?
Relate to them in general
Okay.
as being friends.
Okay.
We're friends because, I don't know.
I understand. You said that your anxiety sometimes affects your relationships. So, explain that to me a little bit. What do you mean? What do you mean by affecting, and what relationships?
And with a girlfriend, like the trust issues aren't there because I fear too much. So
you don't trust her?
It's hard to have trust. It's hard to trust when you overthink so much, and you fear that stuff's happening when it's really not. Then you apologize too much, and it gets annoying to them or something. And, you fear you always say something that's offending them.
So you feel as if they think that you're pushing too much, and you're just apologizing too much, and that do they get upset when that happens?
Yeah. And then I feel like they think you're attached too much when you love too much because you apologize too much, and you love more than you do because you overthink situations, and that can be annoying sometimes to her. And
So do you have a girlfriend? Are you talking about your girlfriend right now, or is this a past?
Past.
Okay. So did you ever talk to your girlfriend about this? About your anxiety? Were you ever able to talk to her?
There's barely any communication.
Okay. So did the anxiety affect your communication?
Because whenever I would communicate, she wouldn't want to listen. She would think I'm just trying to start something. We're fighting or whatever.
So any friendships that you have right now, do you ever talk to them about any anxieties that you're going through? No. Is there anybody that you are able to talk to?
No.
Okay. So that's why you're here today. You can talk to me about it. And I'm glad you're here today. I'm glad you're able to talk about this stuff. So you talked a little bit about friends and family, but we didn't talk about work or anything. Do you work currently?
Yeah, I work with my family.
Okay, where is that at?
Just anywhere. We paint houses and paint wallpaper and stuff like that.
Is painting something you enjoy?
No, not at all.
So you just do it because it's a job?
Yeah.
Working with your family, do you enjoy working with your family?
Yeah.
Seems like there would be a lot of, you said your family is very loving, so it seems like there'd be a lot of support there.
Mm-hmm.
So you have support while you're working, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So that's very encouraging. So you work, is there anything else going on in your life?
College.
You're in college, okay. What year are you in?
My first year, freshman.
Your first year. How's it going so far?
It's going good. Good grades. I love it.
Good. Does the school help your anxiety, or does it put you in a more self-conscious situation?
Only in certain situations where I have to talk in front of class. Other than that, I kind of keep to myself and just do my work.
When you have to talk in front of a class, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you put your anxiety level at? An 8? Okay. It's stressful to talk in front of a class. Yeah. It's hard to talk in front of people, especially people you don't know. Mm-hmm. But you're enjoying school a lot?
Yeah.
What are you going for?
Software engineering.
Oh, okay. So you're going to be working with computers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that something you really enjoy doing?
Yeah, I love doing that.
Do you spend a lot of time studying the computer?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So in your free time, what is some stuff you do?
Not much.
Not much?
Not much. I think my anxieties have something to do with it, though. They make me feel depressed. So.
so there's some depression there. Talk to me a little bit about that. What do you mean by that?
I don't know why I get depressed all the time. I don't know if it's just a bunch of stuff that bundles down and it goes back to overthinking things, and it just always brings me down.
So your overthinking of situations makes you feel sad and depressed.
And where my life may or may not be going, and just everything, like the way the world just weighs you down. You can't pinpoint why exactly. You just happen to be sad all the time.
Would you say that your anxieties are more prevalent when you're thinking about the future?
I mean, sometimes, but I don't know, like I said, what exactly it is. It just happens.
How do you overcome these feelings? Is there anything you do to help relieve this depressed and anxious thought?
Not really. Kind of just let it happen. It's really beginning, so
You mentioned that when you feel depressed and anxious, you don't really have an outlet. You don't have anybody to talk to, and you kind of just let it. Would you say that you let it just soak up in your mind until it feels very overwhelming?
yeah, I guess I let it. I let it all weigh me down to a point that's, I guess, unbearable at sometimes, and like I said, could be dangerous because I guess I start developing, I guess, suicidal thoughts in a way. Sometimes I feel like I have to act upon them, and then sometimes I don't because I think about my family and my future, but then I start thinking about how overwhelming that is, and kind of just cycles back to feeling more depressed. Yeah, it just cycles on and on. And then the only time it, I guess, feels better is when I'm with family, I guess. And it kind of eases a little bit.
So when you're around people and you don't feel as sad when you're around people?
Not really people in general. It's more
your family.
my family,
because
it's, I guess, the most comforting. I guess, just because I guess they're my family, but not so much.
Family is important. Family can show a lot of love, and it's
not so much strangers, because I don't know. I just never. I love people, but putting myself in those situations I don't really like. I'd rather just be independent.
Yeah, it's hard to step outside of your comfort zone when you don't really feel comfortable around certain situations. You said that it can be dangerous having these thoughts, and you mentioned that you sometimes have suicidal thoughts. Have you ever tried anything?
Been multiple thoughts about something, like trying to do something. I've never ever some people want to cut themselves. I've never thought about doing that. Sometimes I once wanted to buy stuff that would hurt me, example poisonous seeds. Is really weird to say, but
it's not weird. Nothing is weird.
Or the car one where you sit in the car, just because I heard that's not as bad. And then why I found out family kind of helps me is because one time I wanted to kill myself, and I wanted to buy a gun, and I wrote letters to families that I was going to give them, and then I hung out with my friends and family on Saturday, and it was going to be the last time I wanted to see everyone, and then I was going to hurt myself on Sunday, but then having that interaction, my mind thought everything was okay, so I didn't want to do it. And that's what kept me from it. It sucks. figure out family kind of helps.
How long ago was this? How long ago was it when you were having these thoughts?
I have suicide thoughts all the time. But that scenario, about 6 months, I guess.
Hmm. Do you have these thoughts often? Do you have thoughts of wanting to hurt yourself often?
Often, I mean, suicide thoughts probably daily, but when it actually gets to the point, it's bad. Maybe once a week.
You said that your family helps you a lot. And I know you said before that you didn't really have anybody to rely on, but it sounds like your family is a big support, and um, it seems like without you realizing it that they do try to support you. Have you ever tried talking to them about these thoughts?
And I guess my mom has been talking to me a little bit about it. I've tried talking to her about it, and then I don't want to say too much because she's my mom and I want to freak her out.
You don't want her to get upset and worry about you.
I said a little bit, and I guess that's why I'm here today. I've once talked to my brother Trav about certain things because he has been through a little bit of the same scenarios.
So you guys are kind of able to relate on that.
I was able to talk to him a little bit about more because some of the thoughts, when the suicidal thoughts, sometimes it's more wanting to hurt other people too, which I think is bad.
Do you ever feel the need to act upon these thoughts?
My mind kind of wants to, but it's actually doing it. It's probably going to, I guess my heart would fight back.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean your heart fights back?
I guess like it always feels like my mind and I guess my heart is at a battle. And my mind needs to do something and tries to take over, but my heart, I guess, doesn't want it to. And I guess that might be due to my faith that I once had when I was a kid. It's still there.
What do you mean by that? Explain to me what faith you're talking about.
My relationship with God when I was a kid. I don't know how religious you are, but Christian on the point. Christian before we get saved, and that's what happened to me when I was 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess it's an inner battle against my mind, I guess the devil, I guess you could say. But so I guess that's kind of why I never acted on something so strong and get myself hurt or getting myself. So I guess that was a big part. And why things haven't got so extreme, but I'm here because I feel like I just need help to my people in general.
So, you're saying that your faith is what helps you not act upon these thoughts to hurt yourself and hurt other people.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's why I haven't actually done anything. But as far as just being suicidal in general, I don't know why.
Well, Seth, we talked a little bit today about your anxiety and how you have trouble interacting with other people, and sometimes you feel like you're an 8 when you're in front of people and you're not comfortable with the situation. And so you mentioned that you have suicidal thoughts and you sometimes have thoughts of hurting other people. Do you feel as if you strongly want to hurt yourself right now, and you are gonna hurt somebody else?
I don't think I'm at the point anymore. It's more of just getting sad and just depressed. I've kind of overcome to ever want to actually hurt myself. I don't want to hurt myself anymore. just because I've noticed I had a loving family, and I don't want to put that kind of feeling on their shoulders or my own, and I don't really want to hurt other people. It's the same thing, I'm taking them away from all their things, and no, I don't. So I guess no, I don't. That's kind of why I'm here. I'm seeking help for myself.
Okay.
I don't want to be depressed anymore. I want to enjoy life.
Okay, so you're here to seek that. You're here to seek ways to overcome that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Seth, our next session, I have in my calendar that I have the same time open next week, if that would be okay. Okay, so next Wednesday at 12 o'clock. And was this area comfortable for you? Was it a comfortable session, or was it a comfortable setting for you? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure that we fit well together and we can continue this. Well, I'm going to walk you out here, and I'm going to grab a couple of pamphlets I can give to you. Just a couple numbers that you can call if you're ever having those thoughts. So I can walk you out, and we can talk about those sessions, and we will see each other next week.